Welcome back to another episode of Eye on the Community. Today we're here at Steel River Theater with Lena Devlin, who is the general manager here.
Nope, I'm the managing artistic director.
I never get it right. For all the time I know you, I don't know what the title is. Well, thank you for having us today.
Absolutely, welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Well, thank you. So this is more of a homey place for me. I've spent a lot of time here with all of us over the years, and I wanted to talk about the theater and a little bit about, why don't you tell us a little bit about the history of this venue, and you're celebrating 10 years this year here.
We are, we're really excited. We are celebrating 10 years on High Street this year. This theater company has been in existence since 2001, but we moved to our permanent home here on High Street in 2008, in November of 2008. Yeah, and our first show here was Miracle on 34th Street, which we're doing again this Christmas, just to celebrate that. And we've actually invited back some of the original cast to come back and participate again. And we're holding auditions September 11th and 12th to fill out the rest of the cast, which is most of it actually. Only 4 people could come back. So, but we're getting our original scenic designer. He's coming up from Florida to come and do the new scene, and we're really excited about it. We're going to have a big old party the opening night of the show to invite the community to, and for the people who were in the cast who couldn't be in the cast again but want to come back and join us. Should be a lot of fun. We're super excited about it.
So you talked about the 10 years. Over those 10 years, what would you say have been some of the biggest shows, and how many people you think you've seen come through the venue in 10 years?
Yeah. Well, about 4 years ago, we got a new ticketing system, which is also gives us the ability to really track the data. So each year in the last 3 years, we've gone between 10 and 12,000 patrons come through. That doesn't include our students. So you figure over 10 years, probably 100,000 people or more have come through and seen shows here. Some of our biggest shows have been things like Shrek.
Yeah, I was familiar with that one. Yeah.
We did a big, giant version of Peter Pan that was the U.S. premiere of the Drew and Stiles version. Actually, the show we have going on now is really exciting. Tonight, we open Newsies.
That's a great show.
And it's, it's so much fun. And we started a new program this year with our youth. It's called the Broadway Intensive. And these kids rehearse the show like professionals. And by that, I mean, it was their full-time job. They were here at 9 in the morning, and they left at 6 at night. Wow. And they rehearsed the whole time. Their dinner break was literally 20 minutes.
So you bring up an interesting point, and I know, because I've experienced it with the youth, especially when we did Peter Pan. I think that was one of the first ones where we had all these kids.
Yeah.
That it's not just like a regular quote-unquote community theater. This is far from a community theater. It's more of the regional theater, and the quality of production is way beyond anything else that sits out in this region. But with the children, or the youth, I don't want to say children because some of them, 13 to 15, and
absolutely.
And some of them are graduating college now who we did Peter Pan with. I'm shocked.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I feel so old.
You're graduating college?
Right.
But talk about what you've done for those children, the youth programs here, and how intense, you said a little bit about that one, but over the years and where you want to go with it and how you want to go with it.
Well, our founding artistic director, Deb Snow, really had this clear vision about how she needed the theater to be a place for kids to feel safe and be themselves, because she didn't feel that way when she was growing up. And I try very hard to continue that mission with her. So we aren't a community theater in that way, in that we are a community theater in that way that we very much want the community to feel like this is their theater, and that all the kids can come here and do whatever they want. And so we have programs for kids who have never done anything in theater before, don't even know which way to face when they're on the stage. And we have programs for, like Newsies, all the way to the other end, where these kids could literally be doing this professionally. In fact, some of them in the show do.
I was going to ask you about that professional. How many of these kids go on to become professional?
Oh, well, to go on to become professionals, probably, it's a much larger percentage than the average, population. But even the kids that are in this right now have done professional work. 4 of them have been at Walnut Street stage, Fulton, so they do professional work even now at age 13 and 14 and 15. So the idea here is that anybody is welcome. We never turn anyone away for financial reasons. We're very, very open with scholarships, and we want the entire spectrum of talent and experience to be able to come here, and it is. We have 5-year-olds and we have 18-year-olds, and it's just all over the place.
Yeah, I think I've worked with every one of those spectrums. Yeah. The interesting thing that I've also observed being part of the venue and then part of the productions is, you know, some of the actors who we've worked with have gone on to become professional in their field, and some of them who were here over the time were professional in the field. Not only them, but the directors, the crafters behind the scenes, your scenery builder, you know, directors, your lighting directors. You talk a little bit about even what is learned from that, and I mean that's what's always blown me away when we'll walk on that stage and go, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the scene, you know.
Yeah. That's absolutely our model. Our model is that we want to combine people who are working professionally in the field currently. So we almost always try to get professional directors and designers. That's exactly what you just talked about. Then we have people who are semi-professional. They may have been professional and choose not to be anymore, or they may be on their way, sort of like up the trajectory. And then we have people who do this as a hobby.
Right.
And the idea is in every production we combine all of those types of people to all learn from each other and figure out how to make it all work. And it's really interesting. Come to Newsies and read the director's note, because our director was a professional. He works exclusively professionally, and he was skeptical about what it was going to be like to do this production, and he talked about how much he learned working with these kids. So in that director's note in the program in Newsies, it's really fascinating, and what sets us apart, I think, from other community theaters is that we work really hard to get people from all walks of life at all stations in the performing arts industry to work together.
And I think you have a good variety of actors too. I mean, it's not the same actors all the time.
Well, that's the cool part about having a different director in here all the time. So, you know, no one does it intentionally, but you tend to go towards people you know, right? I mean, it's just human nature. So when you bring different directors in all the time, they don't know anybody.
Right.
So they choose their vision based on what they see and how they experience a person for the first time. So it's kind of cool. I like that.
So you personally, I mean, when I look at your family, I look at Dave, who does theater and does sound, and Madison, who's an actress, and you and I over all the years have never shared the stage together.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. But why don't you talk a little about your personal background in the arts?
Well, I grew up, I wish I'd had a theater like this when I was growing up, but I didn't. So I just loved, you know, singing in my living room. I saw Cats on Broadway in 1982, and
yep, I did.
You know, I wanted to be Bon Ballerina.
I didn't want to be that part. I want to be
probably like the big tugger. Oh,
yeah,
Old Deuteronomy.
Old Deuteronomy,
right. I went to college for musical theater at Shenandoah Conservatory, and then I went on to AMDA in New York. And then I came home because I decided that I really enjoyed a stable life.
Yeah.
So I decided not to pursue performing professionally. So I came home and had a family, but I missed it so much. And at the time Madison was about 11, she decided, Madison's my daughter. Madison was about 11, she decided to go to summer camp, and I brought her here. And we weren't in this building yet. Summer camp was done at Montgomery County Community College. Okay. And it was we owned a house in Gilbertsville, and I brought her here. She did summer camp, and I made the fateful call of saying, hey, I've got a theater arts background. Need any help?
Big mistake.
That was about 11 or 12 years ago. So.
Yeah, and you never left.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. I used to tell when we'll do the productions with the kids and I see the parents around, I'd say to them, if you hang around long enough, you're going to be in the production.
Oh, absolutely.
And I remember many productions that we did where the parents ended up in I'm never getting on the stage. Yeah, you got to get on the stage. Or you're going to be backstage doing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the theater itself is a place for not only for what goes on the stage, but the relationships that come off the stage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that you and I could say the same thing, that some of our closest friends have come out of the theater. And all walks of life.
Absolutely. Yep, people I would not have met otherwise.
And you would never expect to even be involved in theater who are here. And I think that by having this theater here in Pottstown, you've brought the community to a different place by having such a quality production theater that sits here on High Street. And I don't know if a lot of people, I hate to say this because yes, I've done many productions here, but how many people even know how well this theater is and how the reach and what you do here.
I understand that, Joe, and you know, I've even had people say, you know, I've lived in Pottstown for 15 years and I didn't even know you were here. And I always say to them, well, tell me how to tell you, you know, tell me where I can put the word out. And usually they don't have a great answer, because I would do it. We have a big old, big old lit sign on the
You
front
got
of
that
the
beautiful
building.
digital billboard out there now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing this, so hopefully this will help. Yeah, but once people come in the door, they rarely don't come back again. Like
Right.
everybody, once they're here, they keep coming here, whether it's as a patron or a volunteer or as a donor or a performer. There's so many different ways you can participate.
I got involved here in 2003, so 15 years ago. And our production was
here,
it was at the middle school.
Right, we were sort of nomadic then.
We did Oliver.
Okay,
that was my first production, and all the way through the process to where you are today. And working in the arts in Philadelphia for my career since we've lived in this area for almost 20 years, and seeing the quality of production and what goes on there, and then being able to have this here in our community really says a lot for the theater. And look, we've been in the business a long time. I can't believe that, but most of our life is spent in the entertainment business and seeing the productions. And I've walked away from here in shows I've come to see, I'm like, wow.
I know.
One show I wish I would have done was Hairspray. I mean, that was such the production.
Crazy?
That was, what a great, years ago, and there's been plenty of those.
And these are people that you're passing in the grocery store.
You would never know.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much talent is just right around the corner.
One of the things that's important to this greater community is the economic impact. And I want you to speak a little bit about what you see as the economic impact of this venue and really what it's doing for the Pottstown community.
Absolutely. Our founders, Marta Kiesling and Deb Snow, very specifically chose Pottstown to put Steel River Playhouse. It was actually called something else at the time, but
yeah, I remember that one.
it's all very confusing.
Yeah.
But the whole point of, and if you do some research about it, it is not uncommon for the arts to lead an economic revitalization in a town, because the arts draw people.
Right.
So they come to see a show, and then they want to go to dinner, and maybe they want to, hop across the street and buy something for someone they see in the show. And then they like the little town, so they come to dinner another night. And that's the whole idea, is that the arts will bring people together. Recently, very recently, I mean, we've been here 10 years, hoping and praying that Pottstown was going to really, really start building. And I would say I am more excited now than I have ever been about what's going on in Pottstown. There are so many of the beautiful buildings right here on High Street have been purchased by investors who are planning on putting in restaurants and shops and doctor's offices and all sorts of great things. 2 doors down, the pub just opened. I don't know if you've been there, but oh my gosh.
No, I was waiting when we did Christmas Carol. They were supposed to open, and they never had opened. So
they didn't open until like St. Patty's Day, but
yeah.
the food is phenomenal. And Steve Armstrong, who's their master brewer, does like crazy beers all the time. There's like new beers all the time. I don't really drink beer, but they have wine too, which is good.
There you go.
But yeah, it's pretty exciting, and there's a new Caribbean restaurant opened up right across from the Borough Building.
Okay.
It's called The Avenue or something. There's Cuisine India. Like, there's lots of restaurants opening up, and then I think Very Best is being cleaned out to open a new hot dog shop.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. And have you been to the farmers market?
Yes, I have.
The inside one, not the
No,
one
I've been to the one on the street.
Okay, so there's the one on the street on Thursdays,
Right.
which is fabulous. But right on the corner of High and Charlotte, they have the farmers market reopened, and it's upscale and beautiful. There's a taco bar.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can get gourmet cheeses and all kinds of great stuff. Like, Pottstown's turning into a destination, which is super exciting.
And the good thing is you could come to the theater, park for free or very cheap, depending on which lot you're in.
Right.
Have a great meal in town and see a great show and be 15 minutes from home.
That's right. And not have spent a mortgage payment either.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying we don't support the arts of Philadelphia, because I've worked
Of
in
course
that
we
industry
do.
forever. But supporting the local community and a quality theater in a town like Pottstown is something that's very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
My heart obviously is always in the theater. I love the arts, and even sitting here, I want to get up and perform. I think of a couple things.
Maybe
we
you'll
did
do a
in this
dance.
place. No. You know how well I do that.
That's true.
Yeah, Joe's in the back. But why don't we, as we wrap this up, talk about the ways that you can buy tickets, subscriptions,
Okay, cool.
and also ways that you can give to the theater.
Great. Okay, there's a million ways you can give to the theater. So right now is a great time to buy a subscription, because our subscription series for this coming season hasn't started yet. Our first show in the subscription series is Sweeney Todd. It opens October 5th. So getting a subscription now is a great
And
idea.
who's playing Sweeney?
Ben Freed is playing Sweeney Todd, absolutely. And Alicia Hutman is playing Mrs. Lovett, and it's fabulous. These are
two of my
old
favorite people.
and old friends of the theater and the community that lots of people who know local theater know. So that's really exciting. You can do everything online. You can buy tickets online. You can buy your subscriptions online. You can donate online as well. And speaking of donations, fundraising is a huge part of any community theater. We are officially a community theater because performers can't make a living here, and that's really what makes the difference between a community theater and a non-community theater. So they come here out of the goodness of their hearts and volunteer all of that performance time. So about 40 to 45% of our operating revenue is from contributed revenue. So obviously it's super important. And to that end, we have a big giant fundraiser. We call it our gala. It's like a big party. And this year, there's a way for everybody to come. Okay. We're having a party from 8 to 11. It's on September 8th. You can get all this information on our website. And that party is $50 a ticket, but for that $50, you get an open bar, you get DJ, you get dancing, you get dessert, you get to hang out with your friends, and almost all of that $50 goes to a donation, essentially. That's so great. It's a great fundraiser. It's a lot of fun. You get dressed up. You know, you can wear like a party dress. You look great in red.
Yeah, thank you. I prefer blue, but you know.
And blue is a color this year, so that's great.
There you go.
So it's a great way to have fun with your friends, check out what's going on at the theater, and make a donation at the same time.
Well, I think that's great, and I think the community should come out and support that. Now, also the opportunities to name things in the theater.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
Request your money from wills and memory of people.
Right.
I mean, this is how the theater keeps going.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I can't say enough about this venue, and also about you. We've known each other a long time. And knowing what happens here, and the people, the great people. I mean, you've named a couple of them, as we talked about, Ben and Alicia, who I've worked with and who have become good friends over the years.
Absolutely.
For our community, I look forward to what's coming up this season. The big show at the end is the one I'm really looking forward to.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, yeah. Beauty and the Beast, which always gets a great crowd, great for kids, brings people together. I'm looking forward to the production itself.
Yeah.
And it's
you know what we're doing for Beauty and the Beast? I forgot to tell you about this. So Beauty and the Beast, Joe's all excited. So Beauty and the Beast, we're doing Beauty and the Beast with a regular adult cast. There'll be some kids in it.
Right.
And then, right after we finish it, we're doing Beauty and the Beast Junior.
Oh.
On the same set, with the same costumes and the same lighting, and it's going to be all the youth in the area who want to play these roles as well are going to get to do Beauty and the Beast. And because it's right after it, they're going to work with the adult cast. So the child that's playing Beast is going to work with the adult Beast and figure out, they're going to work together.
Great.
We're doing that for Sweeney Todd, too.
That is really great.
Yeah.
Before, and I just thought about this as you were going through that, you also sell cameos and walk-ons.
We do, absolutely. We sell them at the gala.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that for anybody who wanted to be on the stage, who maybe didn't think they could be on the stage, and we know a couple people who did it last in December, this is a great opportunity
it's so much fun, yeah.
And to be with the cast, the costumes, the set, to see how theater really works.
Yep, it's super fun, yep.
Well, thank you very much.
Bet.
Good to always see you. Send my regards to the family. And, you know, again, Steel River Theater here in Pottstown on High Street is a theater not to be missed. Please come out and support Steel River. And thank you for another episode of Eye on the Community. I'm Joe Ciresi, and I'm running for the Pennsylvania State House. I'm running to make sure that each one of us is represented equally. I'll fight for our communities, for our boroughs and municipalities to make sure they have what they need. I'll support public education, where we're 47th right now in the nation, to make sure our children have what they need in the classrooms that they can succeed. As your representative, I'll be seen throughout the community. And you can see behind me, I'm standing in front of Steel River Theater here in Pottstown, a theater that's helping revitalize the Pottstown community. It's been here for more than 10 years, and I'm proud to have been a member, not only in the audience, but also on the stage. I plan to go to Harrisburg and start working from day one, working for each and every one of our constituents here in the 146th. I look forward to your support and your vote on November 6th. Thank you very much.